Set Free Radio. Truth music for East Texas.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Set Free Radio. Truth music for East Texas.
This all I know. I pull up, I'm heavy, they looking, they checking, they asking, they questions. I get them their blessings, I'm teaching them lessons, believing in fast. I pull up, I'm heavy, they looking, they checking, they asking, they questions. I get them their blessings, I'm teaching them lessons, believing in prayers. Could've been a baller, but instead I gave it to the head of my life, who came in when the chains went around my head, heavy with the weights of this life. I mean, we here to pull them out for them, kick a demon out for them, take away they doubts for them, help them realize that a life dedicated to Christ can get them right if they cry out this for all I know.
What's going on, y'all? Grace and peace. It's your brother Justin with Set Free Radio. And as always, our mission is to positively impact our community, which is East Texas, and social media with the hope of Jesus Christ through Christian rap and conversations. You know what I'm saying? We're an online podcast, hybrid radio show type thing that we do. Play music, we talk about stuff. And, we got an episode today that we wanted to let y'all know what's going on. We're having some issues, unfortunately, with YouTube, man. And it's crazy because of what they're claiming, the, speculation. And they basically removed our channel. We've been banned, we've been blocked, we've been bamboozled, all those things, man. So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about a situation with D1, you know what I'm saying, him calling out rappers in the industry. And, we're gonna play some dope music. We got a lot of good music for y'all, man. So y'all stay tuned with us, man. Tap in with us. As always, man, follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, man. We post a lot of dope reels, a lot of, dope stuff about what's going on in Christian hip hop, what's going on in East Texas, man. So if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you follow us there. We're on Twitter. We kind of post on there randomly. We are not on YouTube right now. We're trying to figure that situation out, but we do go live. We're going to continue, I feel like, to go live on Facebook every other Monday, 7 p.m., man. So y'all keep rocking with us on here. And also, man, Patreon. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a way to be able to support artists, support content creators, in platforms that don't necessarily earn an income, because, this is basically a negative profit ministry, you know what I'm saying? So, $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, you're able to support what we're doing. You're able to get exclusive content, exclusive merch, you know what I'm saying? As you can see the mug right there, you know what I'm saying? $10 a month, you get a dope coffee mug with Set Free Radio on it. $20 a month, you get a shirt. And moving forward, you know what I'm saying, since YouTube is tripping, if we're not able to get them to put the channel back up, we may end up, putting the episodes on Patreon. And the only way you can get access to that is to be able to, pay at least $5 a month. So that's something we're working on. So if you're not familiar with that, check that out. Also, man, coming up this Thursday, December 7th, we're going to do our second installment of counseling and combos with our sister. She's a certified Christian counselor. Her name is Kimberly Caldwell now. She just got married, you know what I'm saying? So congratulations to her. Make sure y'all check that out. We're going to be going live. We're going to be talking about stress. And, this is a stressful time of year sometimes for, holidays. So she's going to have some good tips about that. And so, we will be live on Facebook, man. So make sure y'all tune in if you have any kind of questions about stress. She's going to have some tips on helping with stress. It's going to be very good, to listen to. And, like I said, if you have any questions, you can message us there. You can join in the dialogue. You can also hit us up on the number that I'm going to put on the screen if you have any kind of anonymous questions you want to ask. You can always message us, DM us, all that type of stuff if you want to be able to ask a question for that. But that'll be this Thursday. We do it the first Thursday every month. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing. So check that out. And we're going to play some dope music before we get into the episode. So coming up first, we got Crash Music, new song. It's called Heart Fracture. Dope new video. The homie Crash Music with No Blemish Ministry out of Dallas, Fort Worth area. Very dope, man. Love to see that, how the Lord has changed them, man. love to see cats that were in the streets, that were heavy, doing, what they shouldn't have been doing, and the Lord gets a hold of them and they make music praising Jesus. So, what I'm saying? We got him coming up. And then the second song is going to be by Monster Tarver, Semi-Automatic. And if you have not heard The War of Art, Monster Tarver's new album, man, y'all got to go check it out, man. He is spitting on there. He's got wordplay, flow. He's got that fast chopper flow that, a lot of people like. You'll be able to see that on that song, man. So we're going to play these two songs right quick. I'm going to be able to play about a minute of it on Facebook because, unfortunately, issues with the algorithm and music, copyright type stuff. But, man, y'all stay tuned. Make sure you go ahead and tag some people. Share this. If you haven't followed us yet, man, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, check us out on there. If you're on Apple Podcasts and you're hearing us on there, I think Spotify, too. Leave us a review, man. Especially if you like this content, man. Give us a review. At least put the stars on there. You might put an encouraging message or because that type of stuff helps other people to see, hey, this is dope. This is just not some crazy stuff. So, make sure you leave us a review on there. Make sure you follow us on there. Because like I said, unfortunately, all the episodes that were originally up, they're only on Facebook right now, and they're only on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. They're not on YouTube anymore, unfortunately. So make sure y'all follow us on there. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to this music, and then we'll be right back, man. So y'all don't go anywhere. Peace.
I had my heart broken, it was gone, put it back together. Wasn't the drug pressure in the wood, barely eased the pressure. Spiritual by the Holy Spirit, make a different kind of step. Sober-minded and better, gotta give you the glory forever. Can I collapse, Lord? All this weight up on me, all the pressure. You got my back, Lord, over and over, no matter the weather. Right on my side, Lord, please help me keep it all together. You never failed on me, no, you never broke a promise ever. Ayy, world we living in sick. Don't go broke and lose it all. A human to turn on you quick. You thinking the love it legit. Pull up with weed pills in a drink. Agent might tell you lit. It's only flattery. Who gon' come and get you when you fall in that pit? Run from the parliament, just stay alive. Beat you up and take all your kicks. Marijuana just help you get big. From the fake lion, I pull up with sticks. On Goliath with God in the mix. Get the dying if God ain't the fix. She trying, I ain't talking ish. I ain't lying, it's real as it gets. Evidence all in the cleanup. God be picking the pieces up. I was tripping when I went to re-up. The forgiveness and mercy pick me up. Man, I've been tripping and picking the tree up. These are the habits that add on my teens up. Sanctification from the Hennessy cup. They got me bruising my knees up. Lord, you faithful. Lord, I'm grateful. Moving, repentant, and freed up. Blessing my life and my family up. The whole body, whole team up. Before God, life didn't mean much. John 1:16. The living word, speak up. Get in the word, read up. I had my heart broken, it was God put it back together. Wasn't the drug pressure in the wood, barely eased the pressure. Spiritual by the Holy Spirit, make a different kind of step. Sober-minded and better, gotta give you the glory forever. Can I collapse, Lord? All this weight up on me, all the pressure. Cause you got my back, Lord, over and over, no matter the weather. Right by my side, Lord, please help me keep it all together. You never failed on me, no, you never broke a promise ever.
Set Free Radio.
Semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, and I'm waiting for anybody to give me the static, and they give me the static, and they give me the static, and I know that you really don't wanna get it automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I do, when I give them another round. I'm a semi-automatic for the kingdom of the Lord. I put it down. Let's go. One time for the new punchlines. Whole roster is a lunch line. When I spit balls and they go over your head, then you might as well say I'm spitting dumb rhymes. 2 times for the new bosses. Working on the body with the crosses. If the same balls still go over your head, then you might as well say I'm doing CrossFit. I'm not trying to make it all about money, but I'm sick and tired of living in cause. I've been trying to make it happen, but I don't know what else to do, but I made it this far. I've been waiting on the Lord, and I've been hustling and training, and nobody knows. But instead I had too many that's giving up on me and leaving because I was broke. If it was only about the talent, then I wanna be losing it all to make it happen. I don't wanna be stuck in a situation and giving to everything that I haven't. Nobody give me a challenge. I am no longer waiting on people to give me an opportunity. You end up pursuing me, they don't know what to do with me. Grab the mic and you ruin me, playing a mission because I'm a ammunition, because I am a semi-automatic. I'm a semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, and I'm waiting for anybody to give me the static, and they give me the static, and they give me the static, and I know that you really don't wanna get it automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I do, when I give them another round. I'm a semi-automatic for the kingdom of the Lord. I put it down. 3 times for the new freestyles. New rappers, only beef now. Everybody capping and they coming with no talent, but they only wanna blame it on the streets now. 4 times for the new profiles. Stepping on the enemy like floor tiles. I feel like I'm drowning, I'm stuck underwater, but I'm making wavy just like I was scuba diving. When these people are scrutinizing, but I step on the scene like the biblical Jews arriving after Jesus was crucified. But they're eulogizing everything that I do and find it like it's too surprising that I even could utilize it. But instead I'ma brutalize it with the stupid rhymes, and they try to euthanize it when these people dehumanize it, and they do disguise it. Mumble rappers computerize it, and they act like it's human rights, but I don't care what you do in private. But the cheese never move in silence like the true designer, the one and only true provider. I'ma eat with my team like communal diner, then we show up to fight like the troops arriving, like it's too colliding. And because I'm a semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, and I'm waiting for anybody to give me the static, and they give me the static, and they give me the static, and I know that you really don't wanna get it automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I do, when I give them another round, I'm a semi-automatic for the kingdom of the Lord. I put it down.
God over money, menace movement. We keep them clips filled with truth. We aim at them principalities, and then we let off like
semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, and I'm waiting for anybody to give me the static, and they give me the static, and they give me the static, and I know that you really don't wanna get it automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic. When I do, when I give them another round, I'm a semi-automatic for the kingdom of the Lord. I put it down. Semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, I'm a semi-automatic, and I'm waiting for anybody to give me the static, and they give me the static, and they give me the static, and I know that you really don't wanna get it automatic. When I spit, I'm automatic.
The Set Free Radio Show. Truth music for East Texas.
All right, y'all, we're back. Appreciate everybody being tuned in. Hopefully y'all like the music. Like I said, the first song was that Crash Music Heart Fracture new video that just dropped. And also the second one was that Monster Tarver semi-automatic, you know what I'm saying? Very energetic way to kick the show off. Like I said, we got, kind of a difficult topic today, you know what I'm saying? Something that we've been kind of struggling with behind the scenes for, the last probably 2 weeks now. Made a post about it on social media, you know what I'm saying? So if you follow us on there, you probably saw it. But Wednesday before last, on the 22nd, got an email like 1:55 in the morning from YouTube. Basically what they said is they reviewed the content and found severe or repeated violations of our policy on harmful conspiracy theories. And because of this, we have removed your channel from YouTube. And, to me, like that just really blew my mind. Like, first of all, when I saw I had email from YouTube and, saw it with some issues, I'm assuming, it's going to be like a copyright thing, because, unfortunately, just the way we do our podcasts and our radio show and stuff, we play other people's music. And, a lot of times we may have permission from the artist. But, from what I found, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, they have issues with us playing other people's music if it's on, DSP. I think it's a digital service provider or distribution, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? If it's on Spotify, if it's on Apple Music, if they've uploaded it online to go to streaming sites, then, Facebook, YouTube, they recognize it through their algorithm. And a lot of times they'll either mute it. That's why, on Facebook, we only play about a minute of each song. And then on YouTube, sometimes, it'll either block the video because of a certain song, or it'll say, we've found copyright content. And, it just basically is like a copyright claim on it. And, that's been a kind of a struggle with YouTube anyway, because, looking at it, even if we do get to the point to where we could monetize our YouTube, a lot of our episodes would not be able to be monetized just because we play music. But that's kind of, one of the aims of the show is to play Christian rap and get y'all familiar with some of these artists. And that's one of the things, I personally, get joy in doing. So, originally I thought when I saw the email, when I looked at it, half sleep in the morning, I'm like, oh man, they tripping on copyright or something. But when I really actually looked at it and saw that it was something to do with harmful conspiracy theories, man, that really just blew my mind. Because if you've been following us for a while, if you know me personally, I'm not somebody that pushes conspiracy theories. Actually, conspiracy theories a lot of times are kind of off-putting to me, I'll say. Because we actually had a whole episode on conspiracy theories, basically spent the whole episode kind of debunking conspiracy theories and talking about how it's a slippery slope to start, believing in conspiracy theories. Because if the government lied about this, what else are they lying about? You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, you can't trust anybody. You're paranoid. So honestly, man, like we have, in my opinion, been some people that have on this platform not really fed into conspiracy theories. Like we've tried to debunk them where we can, you know what I'm saying? And also acknowledge some of the ones that are, have been proven correctly. That to me, like, it just was crazy. It's like he basically been found to have done repeated or severe harmful conspiracy theories. And, that's another thing, man. We've been on YouTube for over 3 years now. No issues with that, no reports of that. Like I said, the only issues we had is copyright strikes. Then also at the bottom of the email, it says what our policy says. Content that glorifies or incites acts of violence isn't allowed on YouTube. And that really, took me out, because I'm like, man, we don't want any type of violence. If anything, our voice is a voice holding, hip hop especially accountable for like how it glorifies and incites violence. You know what I'm saying? We are followers of Christ, and that doesn't coincide, according to our worldview. That was another kind of shocker. And even now, like, if you would try to go to our YouTube channel, which is messed up, it says, this account has been terminated due to multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy prohibiting content designed to harass, bully, or threaten. That's even more messed up, man. Like, if anybody tries to go to our channel, or if anybody tries to watch a video, something like that pops up and tells them that. I don't know, man. It's almost like they're like making an example out of us. You know what I'm saying? There's an option on there on the original email that said, you can appeal if you don't feel this is correct. So, of course, I got my ducks in a row, went and did an appeal about a day or two later after I had, kind of processed everything, the shock of everything, and filed the appeal online with YouTube through their little, form that they have. And it says, you may hear something in 1 to 2 days. I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be a couple of days. I'm going to pray on it. Honestly, like 2 hours later, I get an email that popped up. I'm like, oh, wow. So that was a pretty quick decision, huh? They're, trying to review everything. The second email says, we've reached a decision on your appeal. It says, we have reviewed your appeal for the following Set Free Radio. We have reviewed your channel carefully in a couple hours is what they say, and have confirmed that it violates our harassment policy. We know this is probably disappointing news, We won't be putting your channel back up on YouTube. So, and then from there, like, I don't see any other option to appeal up the chain, or you know what I'm saying? And, I've looked at a couple of like YouTube videos and Googled and trying to see like how you're able to, further appeal it, because, honestly, it's very vague. They're not telling me exactly what content violated the policy. They're just saying we violated it some type of way. That's pretty messed up, you know what I'm saying? But, I still have a little bit of hope, because, I know one particular guy that we are connected with on Instagram. He said that, they blocked his channel for like 2 years. When he finally got it going, I think he mentioned something about a lawyer. I don't know if, it's that serious at this point, you know what I'm saying? But he said he got a lawyer, and then after he got his channel back after about 2 years, he said it just started taking off. So, honestly, man, like, YouTube was a platform that, we uploaded everything to, tried to sew into, but it just honestly seemed like one of the platforms that was the slowest to grow. Like I said, only after about 3 years, we only had maybe 155 subscribers. But I mean, praise God, like I enjoyed it because I could see that people were actually tuning in, you know what I'm saying? There was, people watching, we had some decent views, you know what I'm saying? But it just didn't grow like a lot of the other platforms. So, that was always something in the back of my mind. Also, like I said, as far as not being able to monetize it, just because we play music, I could see some ways around it, you know what I'm saying, that we could actually probably do it. But honestly, it almost seems like our station or podcast or whatever is not really, geared for YouTube, honestly, man. So that's kind of makes me, want to rethink everything and kind of pivot to something else. Just not sure exactly what that is now. I guess the most frustrating thing about the entire experience is just not being able to, talk to somebody in person. You know what I'm saying? Everything is like a robot. It's a form you fill out. It's an email. Even when I tried to reply to that, appeal email, and got a thing back saying this is not a working email or whatever it was. This email cannot be replied to. At the end of the day, man, there's different options that I'm looking into. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of disheartening to where, say our YouTube channel was taking off. Say that we were getting some good follows. There was a opportunity for us to be monetized and actually making some type of income from YouTube. We're still building on somebody else's platform. And at the end of the day, if they don't like, one thing we said, as I see, they can basically shut us down, you know what I'm saying? And then that all goes away, you know what I'm saying, without even being able to talk to somebody. So, that's definitely frustrating on that one. And even with that, it's like, how did we get flagged? Like, was it somebody that didn't like what we said, like a viewer or somebody came across our content, reported it, and then YouTube, you know what I'm saying, agreed with them? Or was it like, some type of algorithm that was searching through it, maybe saw one word, because I know I follow Ruslan. I know certain words he doesn't necessarily say, So I don't know, maybe that's possibly what it is, but honestly, man, like the way I look at our platform, we try to speak the truth in love, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to shy away from biblical truth or what we believe, you know what I'm saying? As far as sin or as far as like the craziness going on in the world today. But at the same time, our viewpoint or our goal is never to, make fun of people or to dunk on them or to, to harass them or threaten them or glorify any type of violence or push any kind of crazy, harmful conspiracy theories. You got to wonder, man. Me personally, I hate to be that guy. I hate to be the, oh man, they hate us because we're Christian. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting persecuted because I'm Christian. You know what I'm saying? I hate to be that guy, but honestly, I don't really see anything that we posted that could have, gone against some type of, standard, unless it was somebody that is basically, against Christianity, against, the Christian worldview, knowing that, YouTube definitely is not on board with that necessarily. Let's say that at the end of the day, like, there's so many other different ways of being persecuted, man. Like, this is a small thing, you know what I'm saying? And I think, man, some of the people that Christians, especially on social media that scream about, hey, I'm getting persecuted. A lot of those same people that argue that they can be obnoxious, you know what I'm saying? They could be some of the same ones just like, speaking the truth, but not with very much love. And then when they get, flagged for something, it's kind of like, oh, I'm being persecuted. It's like, no, necessarily it's really a lot to do with how you're saying it and how you're calling people out with, trying to get a response even, you know what I'm saying? And then when you get backlash from it, it's like, oh, I'm being persecuted. And, I see that too. But like I said, with our platform, I think we honestly try to go out of our way not to be, extra offensive. You know what I'm saying? The gospel is going to be offensive. The truth, especially nowadays in this climate, nowadays in this world with everything that's going on, the truth is offensive. You know what I'm saying? But I think, we should strive not to make it unnecessarily offensive. Like I said, there's so many other ways to be persecuted in this world. Like as a follower of Christ, if we look at the apostles, they were persecuted horribly, you know what I'm saying, up to death. Look at North Korea, man, they're locking them up, killing them. China, you know what I'm saying, these other areas, Iran, Nigeria, you know what I'm saying, there are Christians being killed. Egypt, you know what I'm saying, a few years ago, Christians were beheaded on the beach by ISIS. Like this is a mild form of persecution, if you can even call it that. But one thing that reminded me of is, like, if I'm going to be persecuted for anything, I want to be persecuted for speaking the truth, for being a follower of Christ and following his example and not compromising on the truth. That made me think of a scripture in 1 Peter 4:12-15. He says, dear friends, don't be surprised at the fire trials you are going through as if something strange were happening to you. Instead, be very glad, for these trials make you partners with Christ in his suffering. And like I said, this is Peter writing to people that are being horribly persecuted. So, this is a mild case, but, this is, a trial, because it's like we're trying to build this platform. We're trying to spread the message and, getting banned and blocked off of YouTube, getting the channel removed for trying to be, a light to the world in social media. And it says, these trials make you partners with Christ in his suffering so that you will have the wonderful joy of seeing his glory when it's revealed to all the world. This is the part that really stands out to me. If you are insulted because you bear the name of Christ, you will be blessed, for the glorious Spirit of God rests upon you. If you suffer, however, it must not be for murder, stealing, making trouble, or prying into other people's affairs. So, at the end of the day, that tells me we got to strive to be above reproach. We got to strive to, definitely tell the truth, but tell it in love. And, at the end of the day, if that causes persecution, we're blessed. You know what I'm saying? If that causes our channel to be removed off of YouTube, then, so be it. And, when it first happened, after the initial shock, I definitely feel like, God is behind this some type of way. He's working in the midst. He may even be using this to push us to a different platform, a different thing that's better for us. I don't know. It's messed up that it happened, but, in feeling like, hey, God he's working something out, it also comes with like a little bit of discouragement, honestly, you know what I'm saying? So trying to fight through that, and it's messed up that, it feel like they're YouTube is trying to make an example out of us, because there's a lot more worse content on YouTube, even when it comes to like, Christian YouTube, there's a lot more people, a lot more raw than what we used to put that are still on there, you know what I'm saying? And that's not any shots at them, but it's just kind of weird that, our little channel would be attacked for, that, and like I said, seemingly made an example of, by still having, when you search for it, it come up and say that. that we violated a harassment policy, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, thankfully, I think we have ran this platform in such a way that, people that know me personally, people that have engaged with the content, realize that this is like a false, claim. It's not something that's true. And, that made me also think of another scripture, that is, I think, a way for us to live in this culture in the world today is Titus 2:6-8. It says, in the same way, encourage the young men to be self-controlled in everything. It says, make yourself an example of good works with integrity and dignity in your teaching. Your message is to be sound beyond reproach so that any opponent will be ashamed because he doesn't have anything bad to say about us. So like at the end of the day, that's why I feel like, our goal is to walk in integrity and dignity, to be sound in our message, to be, biblically accurate, to not compromise on the truth, to give truth, but also to give it in love with grace, so that, the people that know what's going on, they know the kind of absurdity of what, like I said, YouTube is saying, or whoever, might be, coming at us with some type of false claim. That's one way that I look at it, personally, is like, well, I know it's not necessarily on me, on us, because I feel at the end of the day, we weren't out there just being rambunctious and, actually threatening people, posting false things. So I can rest in that and know like, hey, this is persecution. This is, somebody just not liking the message of the gospel, the message of what the Lord has said in his word. And also, like I said, it talked about us inciting and glorifying violence. To me, if you look at YouTube, a lot of the, mainstream hip hop, the so-called gangster rap, that's still on there, and that stuff definitely glorifies violence. There's a lot of other stuff that incites violence, and I think that ties into also what I'm gonna talk to when we come back off of this next music break. I wanted to talk about D1, calling out some rappers and calling out the music industry. So we'll take a quick break. And we got some dope music to play, We're gonna play this new Corey Paul and Dre Murray, I Did It, very dope rappers, Christian rappers from Houston. We got a song with a lot of H-Town flavor. Also, we'll play this new Dayton, Weight of Our Words, and that goes to, what we're talking to is, there's weight to our words, he's tying that into also like hip hop and, artists that make rap music, any music, honestly, but specifically hip hop, and the importance of, holding them accountable, man, for the music and content they're putting out. And last but not least, we're gonna play that new D1 Lions Drawn video, kind of give y'all a taste of, what he's talking about right now, and, what the conversation is right now online, about that he's stirred up basically, which is a good thing. So we're gonna take a quick break, play that music, man, and we'll be right back to wrap this thing up.
I did it with no pirates. I did it with no yellow pills. I was raised off of that great tape, 15s in that photo, dark 10 on that 88. Put the camera on and we go pro. White cups with heavy ice, now they moving in slow-mo. Piece of chain with heavy ice, sweets full of that dough. They was pouring up the four, I was working on the 8 grams on the counter, now they messing with the plate. On my second 8 now I got a 16, different kind of ball, MC in the team, one with a dream. We can make it out of here without cocaine, we can make it out of here with just your brain. H-Town traffic, better pick your lane. I did it with no pirates. I did it with no yellow pills. Yellow pill, yellow pill, yellow pill. I did it with no blocking mask. Glocking mask, glocking mask, glocking mask. Yeah, that boy that still trill. Know what I'm talking about? Live from the trenches, I come out the park. Beam on the scope, I'm afraid of the dark. Demons been waiting to pick me apart. I do magic with ratchet, man, you pick a card. lot of the pain I just could not avoid. I rap about it cause I really saw it. Crossed by my ace and I'm 100 by 12. If I squeeze it, we even, I'm really at odds. We took it far, you know where we came. My daddy shot up cocaine in his veins. I used to struggle to motivate brothers who come out the gutter. No, we're not the same. What is you saying? It's simple and plain. I had to shed all my tears in the rain. I could've rocked it up next to my cousin, but I whipped my pain in the billboard to claim. Come off them benches, don't play with me. Keep all that hating away from me. Nothing to say to me, pray for me. Made it G, they had to sell it and stay for me. I know that it ain't too late for me. I know that my granny pray for me. I know he making a way for me. Worship him gratefully. I did it with no pirates. I did it with no yellow pills. Yellow pill, yellow pill, yellow pill, yellow. I did it with no blocking mask. Blocking mask, blocking mask, blocking mask, blocking mask. Tell that boy that's still trill.
Set Free Radio.
So hip-hop has made Tupac the poster child for West Gangster, right? Well, Tupac said to hold artists accountable for their words and the message in their music. So here we go. Cancel culture got you thinking twice about what you say, huh? You won't share opposing views cause you might not get paid, huh? Your contract won't let you form opinions of your own, no. You say what they tell you to, yet you rap like you so bold. They recruit you, pay the dudes and make you make their music that's enslaving humans. They've been using you to make them stupid. You say they can do it like the gangsters do it. Aim and shoot it, they influence you to make sure the neighborhood is stay polluted. And it's freaking sick. All of your hits consist of this wickedness. Lift the stick and click and hit your people, but y'all hypocrites. Cause when that shooter's white, you want you protest and lift your fist. Just admit justice ain't what your interest is. Your intent's to get that money.
Look, I'm saying, we are who we are. There's really a bag. If I get them what they want. Protect your child's life, cause that ain't my job. How they ain't censor no movie, I won't censor my art. Then a voice says, yeah, I got power. Gotta know the weight of my words, yeah. Cause I got power. Gotta know the weight of my words.
You don't love the people of the ghetto. If you did, you would build us up, not tear us down. And you would tell our kids to aim for something greater. You would warn us about the track, but you made your great escape and sold us all out for them racks. White suburban kids at your concerts dance with their hands up high, and they sing along to your songs about death that you glamorize. When you're done, they head to the burbs, you head to your mansion high up on that hill, away from that violence that you romanticize. Meanwhile in the hood, another bullet out the hammer flies and lands inside somebody's skull. That's another young man that died. As you write the soundtrack for murder, then count your bands and thrive. Her mother stands beside her son's coffin, holds his cold hand and cries. They're treating hip-hop like the Roman Coliseum. They're all entertained as we tear each other down to demons. When they wave them checks and tell us fight, we're folding under pressure. But we cannot hurt ourselves no more. Be bold with your oppressors. Take a stand.
Then a voice says, yeah, I got power. Gotta know the weight of my words, yeah. Cause I got power. Gotta know the weight of my words, yeah. Then a voice says, yeah, I got power. Gotta know the weight of my words, yeah. Cause I got power. Gotta know the weight of my words, yeah.
The Set Free Radio Show. Truth music for East Texas.
Tank filmed it.
Hip hop, let me holler at y'all for a second. This conversation long overdue. All I hear y'all talking about is your money in large amounts. Must think accountability is your ability to count. It's not, that's why this culture lukewarm, intoxicated with ignorance. Let me spit the truth on. I said that glorifying murder in our music is bad. Now people coming at me saying stop speaking up, we like to hear that. If that's your preference, that's cool, but when you get on the defense, then let me know. My spirit irritating your demons. I'm supposed to back down cause of some internet hatred. I've been defeating Goliath, baby. My first name David. All year round we feed people death and destruction. You heard me? But it's okay cause on Thanksgiving we... Never mind. People threaten to hurt me. People say I'm clout chasing. They want the evil unopposed, That sound like Satan. But I'm responding with love, maturing as I go through this. It ain't just about how I love Jesus, it's about how well I love Judas. They can't silence my voice, I'm gonna be vocal forever. These people hating on you, D, they gonna be local forever. I got the industry shook, that guilt can't pile up. I drew a line in the sand and it messed they empire up. I ain't here to blame it or shame it, but it's all about how you frame it. Now evil has an excuse, and it's called entertainment. You got a three-part ecosystem. The labels are one, but without creators and consumers, labels can't run. So what the fans support is what the artists gon' make. Gotta deprogram and reprogram what we consume and create. I got so much more to say, but I let God lead the way. Trust I'ma serve you in doses. Who know about to start coaching you? 3, 2, 1. It's 3 to 1. Some industry, some fans, and some artists against me, but I don't run. I got the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. Class officially in session, y'all. This about to be fun. Oh man, it's about to be fun. This just the syllabus, bro. It's just the beginning. We got a lot to cover. We got a whole lot we gonna cover. Like how to be in this world, but not of this world. How to be real, righteous, and relevant. Bump this world. How to turn over tables in a temple when it's time, without ever letting anger enter your heart and mind. Yeah. How to stand for God when everybody else saying it's hard. Yeah.
All right, y'all, we are back. Appreciate y'all staying tuned. You know what I'm saying? Hit y'all with 3 songs right quick. If you're watching this on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? We just got a minute of each of them just so we don't have no problems with it getting blocked or muted. Coming back, we're talking about, we talked about, the way YouTube kind of flagged us and blocked us for some nonsense. Then we talked about, how a lot of the content that is on YouTube, especially when it comes to mainstream hip hop, gangster rap, whatever, they said that we incited glorified violence. But honestly, man, if you tune in right now, you do some search on some popular rap music, even the videos, man, you might see somebody, kill somebody on there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, not necessarily for real, hopefully, but you'll see that. You'll see people pull up and drive-bys. You'll hear them rap about it. So it's like, at the end of the day, who's really inciting and glorifying violence? Thankfully, a brother named D1, if you're not familiar with him, we just played his most recent song. He's been somebody that since he came in the game, I think 2009, he has, basically been trying to speak some truth to, the current state of the rap industry. You know what I'm saying? He had the song Jay-Z, Weezy, and 50 Cent, I think. And he dedicated a verse to each one of those artists and just, challenging them to do better, to make better content. And, he's had a long career, independent artist. And, he's always spoke his mind, and there's been a lot of respect for that. Just recently, he was on Sway's Neighborhood, the morning show. And, he had basically, I think out of frustration, man, he was like, challenging, he named 3 artists specifically, challenging them to do better. I think the first person he called out was Jim Jones. He was like, man, you're too old to be still talking about the content you're talking about, to still be making gangster rap. Like, you're an OG now. Like, you should be pushing the younger, community to do better, to make something of themselves and not glorify violence. But every song you hear, I'm gonna get my young boys to come do this. So he's like, and the way he did it was not a harsh way, I don't feel like. He said, Jim Jones, I love you too much to not tell you, hey man, we got to do better. He called out Meek Mill, specifically because, Meek Mill, if you kind of follow anything, he's been kind of a proponent for prison reform, because he's had his own issues with probation and prison and, So he's been spearheading some positive stuff with prison reform, which is great. And, D1 said, man, he was proud of that. He, I guess Meek Mill had some shoes that said reform on the bottom. He said he bought like 1,300 pairs and gave them out in his community because he was behind that. But, Meek Mill and Rick Ross just put out a song not too long ago, and you know what I'm saying, just glorifying ignorance, you know what I'm saying, same thing, I'm gonna have my young boys pull up to you at the light and this. So it's like, he was like, man, which one is it, man? Are you gonna be the face of prison reform, or are you gonna be rapping about getting people killed in your song? You know what I'm saying? What sense does that make? And he called out Rick Ross for the same thing. And he called those brothers out in love but accountability. And a lot of people are not used to that, especially multi-million-dollar rappers that are used to hearing yes from everybody. You know what I'm saying? They're used to yes men. You know what I'm saying? So there's been a little bit of a stir. It's gone viral. Thankfully it's starting some needed conversation. You know what I'm saying? And even with the trial with Young Thug, man, because and a lot of different artists that have been on trial lately, they're using their lyrics against them. And if you notice, man, I just saw a video from Fat Joe just yesterday. I think he was on like a pretty, well-known, it may have been ABC Good Morning or one of those talk shows. Like, he's on a pretty big platform, and he basically said that 95% of the stuff he rapped about was false. Now, like, Fat Joe, I would, if I would call anybody a studio gangster, it would probably not be Fat Joe. But to hear him say, pretty much the majority of the stuff he raps about is made up, that's interesting. But man, like I've always said, man, hip hop has a very different type of, it just has a very different relationship with its listeners and the culture, man. Like, we can look at a lot of times movies, a lot of people make the analogy, oh, well, man, there's these gangster movies, and people don't really get onto them, which, honestly, I feel like there is backlash against that type of stuff. But, a lot of times we can tell the difference between a movie because we know it's a movie. It's marketed as a movie. The actors, we see them in different things, acting different ways. But then we may see them in a gangster movie portraying a gangster, like Denzel Washington, Training Day. We've seen him in all kind of positive lights. We've seen him in action movies, comedies, love movies, dramas, suspense, Broadway plays. But he did play a crooked cop in Training Day. So we see different stuff. But unfortunately, man, with rappers, like that's their whole persona. You know what I'm saying? Is I'm a gangster. Even social media, their videos, they're constantly putting out the same image. And it's like, it's definitely difficult, especially for young people, to see, hey, this is just entertainment. A lot of them see this as a lifestyle that they want to attain to because it's cool. And that keeps up the cycle of violence in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I always say with my testimony, being a young man growing up without a positive male influence, my father in prison, raised by a single mother, hip hop made selling drugs look cool. It made being in a gang look cool. You know what I'm saying? And so thankfully I didn't get too far into that type of stuff, but I see the allure of it. I see how it pushes these young people. And there are other factors that lead to that. But at the end of the day, that music a lot of times is a soundtrack to that type of stuff. So it's, I think it's a good conversation that we're having right now and holding these artists accountable, man. It's like by him speaking up, it puts a spotlight on the issue. You know what I'm saying? And it creates dialogue online. And, hopefully a lot of people are seeing like, hey, man, this is very hypocritical, man. We can't be, these multi-million-dollar rappers that are, great businessmen, looks like, and doing other things that are positive. But then at the same time, the music they make is full of ignorance and, glorifying violence and still talk about murder and killing people. That's very hypocritical. That's very, two-faced, I would say, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense, man. And, I think it's funny, when if you've seen any of the responses from the artists that, D1 called out, Meek Mill, he kind of took it lightly and just say, hey, I can do both of these things. You know what I'm saying? There's no problem with me doing, positive, but also making rap music about, street stuff. Rick Ross was a little bit more critical. He was a little bit more, making fun of D1. And also, his biggest thing was, you can't talk to me until you've gave your neighborhood turkeys for 20 years and bought Pampers for the pregnant girls. And it's like, it's like that age-old thing we always see, like New Jack City. Yeah, they poisoned the neighborhood with drugs. They created havoc, violence on the streets, all these different things. But it's like, oh, Thanksgiving, we're going to give out some turkeys. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what Rick Ross was basically saying. Like, evidently he doesn't know D1 and his track record of doing positive stuff outside the music. But it's like, man, oh, you're just, clout chasing. I do actual stuff in the community, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you give away turkeys, but then, you know what I'm saying, you're feeding into the same cycle of making this negative music that makes it look cool to, engage in, gangster stuff and violence and drugs, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, it's like you're putting a little Band-Aid on this big gushing wound, you know what I'm saying, that needs, proper attention. It needs to be, disinfected. It needs to be sewed up and gauzed up and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? You just slapping a little Flintstone Band-Aid on it. And even, with Jim Jones, man, like he went on Sway, I think a week or two later, and like, he was upset, and he was like, he said something about like, man, you got to watch what you're saying about people. My cousin may, not like what you said and put hands on you. It's like, are you threatening violence? Because this dude basically just said, hey, you got to do better, man. You know what I'm saying? Jim Jones is probably like, late 40s, early 50s, possibly. Like, he's definitely too old for that, man. But it's like, you can be up in age, but you can be, blinded, by ignorance and stuck in the same cycle, man. So, I think it's been a very good dialogue. I hope it's something that keeps continuing. We're on our part going to keep raising the conversation as long as we have this platform. And, at the end of the day, man, we want people to see like, there's a better way. That's why we play this Christian hip hop. So y'all can see that, hey man, there's dope music that, has beats as good as mainstream rap, that has lyrics and wordplay as good as mainstream rap, but it's positive. You know what I'm saying? And like, honestly, the only way that you may not want to listen to this music is either if you're, stuck in the ignorant mind state of like, I gotta have, violence and all that stuff for it to be cool. Or, you know what I'm saying, you basically, you had the spirit of Antichrist. You don't want to hear nothing about Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That would be, I think, the only reason why you wouldn't want to hear this music, because it's definitely dope. It's definitely high quality. It's definitely, a lot better than even some mainstream rap, man. One little thing to wrap it up. So, it's funny that when you hold people accountable, like how D1 held Rick Ross accountable, Rick Ross's whole thing was, hey man, I do good in my community. You know what I'm saying? Ignoring the fact of all the negative that he's portraying. And I think to me that reminds me a lot of what people's mind state is, and it basically a reprobate mind state. It's the fact of like, hey, look, I'm going to try to make my good outweigh my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I may do negative stuff, but look, I'm doing good stuff. And, if we look at a lot of man-made religion, that's what it falls back to. It's like, yeah, I do bad stuff, but I'm trying to make my good outweigh my bad so that, God, when he judges me, he'll see, hey, you did good, and then I can go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? It's a very man-centered, man way of looking at religion. If you look at Islam, that's a lot of what that is. If you look at a lot of works-based religion, work-based salvation religions, man, a lot of false man-made religions, that's what it pushes. It pushes man's works as being the center of our salvation. Like we can bribe, God, you know what I'm saying? That's basically what it comes down to. It's like, God is a judge. And if you go to a courtroom and you rob the bank, you can't just go in there and say, yeah, I robbed the bank, but look at all the good stuff I've done in the community. I walked the old lady across the street. I gave a homeless man $20 the other day. See, I'm doing good stuff. The judge is gonna say, yeah, but you're still guilty of robbing the bank. So you're going to jail. So, at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can do to earn our salvation. There's nothing we can do to make ourselves right with God. Like we may feel like these things that we're doing, these good works that we're doing is going to balance all that. But like the Bible says, all our good works, all our good deeds are like filthy rags. You know what I'm saying? The only way that we can be made right with God, the only way that we can enter heaven, the only way that we can gain salvation is by faith in Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And, it seems counterintuitive. Like I just trust Jesus and I'm saved. But man, there's so much more that happens when you actually place your faith in Jesus and believe that he is the Son of God, believe that he died on the cross for my sins, and that when I put my trust and faith in him, that I'm saved and secure. What happens when we believe that, man, we receive the Holy Spirit. That Holy Spirit gives us the ability to live the life that we couldn't originally live, because we have the Spirit of God in us. It changes the way we see stuff and look at stuff. Me, myself, I was, into that type of crazy rap music, which as I got older, I started not really liking it as much. But man, now being saved, full of the Holy Spirit, I can't listen to a lot of that same stuff that I used to. It just irritates me. You can say it irritates my spirit. It bothers me. I see the foolishness in it. And, that's what happens as a follower of Christ when you surrender and make Jesus your Lord, not just your Savior, but your Lord and Savior. You know what I'm saying? We get that Holy Spirit that enables us. It changes our likes and our tastes. And faith without works is dead, right? But at the end of the day, we're not saved by our good works. We're saved by faith. So once we have faith, God has already got these good works prepared for us ahead of time. Like that's Ephesians 2:8-9. We're saved by grace through faith, not works, so that nobody can boast. But the verse right after that, verse 10 says, we are God's workmanship, created in advance to do good things that he has ordained for us. We're not saved by good works, but we're saved to do good works. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the juxtaposition of man-made religion and what God has done and what he intends for us. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not trying to do positive stuff to, equal our karma out or whatever it is, that a lot of people think. It's no, come to Jesus, let him change you. And then after that, you're not going to want to make gangster rap. He's going to start convicting you and you're going to start making music about positive things, about stuff that needs to be made. So, that's my little TED talk and rant about that. And, at the end of the day, man, like I said, we are off of YouTube right now because unfortunately, YouTube is tripping. Hopefully, Lord willing, we're going to keep appealing and see if we can do other things. There's some ideas I've got, like I said, as far as maybe Patreon. If you're not subscribed to us on Patreon, that may be one thing that we do. $5 a month, you get access to our, new videos. And, hopefully, Lord willing, we didn't lose all our old videos. So, but everything is still on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. All the old episodes, you can always check that out. Like I said, leave us a review. But moving forward, we're definitely praying about it. May take the rest of this month off, and just kind of see, just really seek the Lord on what's going on, what he wants us to do, how we pivot from here. May even make a Set Free Radio app. I don't know. That's something that could be in the works. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to be in our community. We want to be doing positive things too. So, we're praying about that too. Maybe the whole thing with YouTube was to push us, to be more involved in the community than we have been, and ultimately to work towards what I feel like is the vision of the channel is making possibly a Christian rap hip hop station here in East Texas and Long Beach, So, man, if we bless y'all in any type of way, man, drop us a comment, man. More than anything, be praying, man. Pray for, YouTube to soften their hearts to see, this foolishness, or at least say, hey, this is what specifically violated, so we know. Or, at the end of the day, pray for vision on, how we go forward, man. So we're open to comments. We're open to suggestions. Make sure y'all drop them on there, man. As always, we appreciate everybody that rocks with us. Everybody that, supports what we do. Man, we love y'all. Y'all are what encourages us to keep, moving on and keep pushing. And, just the different testimonies of people, saying this helped me, or saying, man, like I found out all this dope new music from Set Free Radio. So, that's what keeps us going, other than the fact, like, I feel like this is a vision that God has given me, personally, man. So, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up with some dope music. The last song we're going to play is Kinfolk D-Ray featuring Verb Pro 12-4. All I Love, The homie, shout out to the homie Kinfolk D-Ray. It's his new video, just dropped not too long ago, off the new album, Love, Family, Truth. I believe I'm saying that right. He was, our last episode, the last interview, episode 70. So if you want to check that out, man, go ahead and check that out. It's on, definitely on Spotify. It's on Facebook for right now. Definitely not on YouTube because, like I said, the situation. And the last song we're going to play is a new song from the homie David Robledo. Save me. It's, David Robledo, that's my homie. We're in the same, men's discipleship group. And, he's definitely a dope artist, man. So y'all check that out. Like I said, unfortunately, we got to play 1 minute of it on Facebook. But, if you like the songs, man, go ahead and check these artists out. Man, support them. Listen to them on Spotify, Apple Music, buy the single. These type of things encourage artists, because that's also part of, I feel like the vision for Set Free Radio is encourage these artists that are doing the right thing and show them that somebody cares, even though they're not making music that's glorifying negativity and violence. So love y'all, man. Grace and peace. Follow us on Patreon if you're not. Support us. $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month. You get exclusive merch. You could be able to, see the episodes, something we working on. And follow us on social media while we're on there. And what else? Oh, and don't forget, this Thursday, December 7th, counseling and combos with Sister Kimberly Caldwell, talking about stress, man. So y'all stay tuned. Listen to the last little bit of music, and then we're going to wrap it up, man. Grace and peace. God bless.
Kinfolk, Bird Pro, let's go.
This is all I love, yeah. This is all I love. Save me from a world I love. Save me. This is all I love, yeah. This is all I love. Save me from a world I love. Save me. Save me from a world I love. I'm loving your will, Lord, it's complicated. I'm loving your way, Lord, I'm dedicated. I'm giving my time, Lord, I'm motivated. But I'm stuck in the flesh, Lord, it's activated. Time after I be trying, I be crying, Lord, I'm dying. I be sighing, I be lying with the snow, the nine of my flesh, I'm a mess, trying to pass the test. It's the lust I dressed in my mind's eye. Gotta trust in your words that I'm defined by. Gotta walk up in the spirit, I'm aligned by. Designed by, give me, I reject the word I'm not confined by. Wanna see you like I'm Sinai, East Shanghai. I be fighting like Eli now, run that Muay proud of life, I push it down now, to the ground now. No more boats, it was hellbound, we gon' wear crowns. This is all I love, yeah. This is all I love. Save me from a world I love. Save me. This is all I love, yeah. This is all I love. Save me from a world I love. Save me. Save me from a world I love.
No plans, Lord, I give you my ambitions. I only will to sit at the foot of your throne and listen. I done had enough of the time, so I was leading and driven myself into a mirage of my wants. It was in oblivion. Now I'm praying, Father, give me what it is you want from me. Exceeding abundantly above all that I ask a thing. Keep my eyes stayed up on you, Lord. No, I don't wanna blink. And don't give me too much that I forget you. I don't wanna sink. You know the plans you have for me, you leading. I don't need to see. Don't want the devil making me something that I don't wanna be. I submit to you, Lord. Resist the devil, so he gotta flee. He mad cause he ain't got nothing I want, cause I ain't got a fee. I know that all that's in the world is eager to impart. The lust of the flesh, eyes and pride of life like a door. The devil wanna devour me. I gotta stay on guard, so I delight myself in you. Put your desires in my heart. This is all I love, yeah. This is all I love. Save me from a world I love. Save me. This is all I love, yeah. This is all I love. Save me from a world I love. Save me. Save me from a world I love.
Set Free Radio.
To get off my chest. Lord, can you save me from myself? Me versus me, I know at times don't need no help. I'm my own hazard to my health. Remember nights my mother cried, she tell me pray, I'd run and hide. Some things don't never change, them scars still left me traumatized. Too young to know, but now I see that even then your hand was guiding me. Still waging war against these sinful thoughts inside of me. Lord, who's to blame? My mother, father, Adam, Eve. No, if then it was me, I would've bitten from that tree. The heart is desperately wicked, full of deceit. I had to take defeats to learn to stand on my 2 feet. Hard to find sincerity in anyone I meet. When I was taking shots, they all were running for retreat. I know you now, but was a skeptic for a while. They tell me strike a pose, but I'm too real to fake a smile. When all the smoke is clear, then we gon' see who's really down. Rather you stay away than have you fake when you're around. To them it's merely sessions, but to me this is life lessons and soul questions. Like what happens when it's over. I need your hands to carry all the weight that's on my shoulders. These burdens getting heavy and my kids are growing older. I ran in circles in that wilderness wild and 25 years a slave. Thought I was alive, but I was digging my own grave. There were nights, didn't have $1 to my name. Broken was a shame, came in the clutch, helped me sustain. I give it all to you, my life, my kids, my problems too. Lost it all to know that no one loves you like your father do. Was the adulteress and the prostitute, the tax collector, worst of sinners, broke your laws. How can you not prosecute? Think cause I'm Christian now that I became soft. Hardest thing I know to do is picking up your cross. They told me see a therapist, but they didn't inform me all the months my mother carried me. Yeshua till they bury me. I surrender.
The Set Free Radio Show. Truth music for East Texas. Set Free Radio. Truth music for East Texas.